When I was in my teacher training for yoga, and in many of the yoga classes I've taken, yoga classes tend to follow a similar format. We're usually starting either on our backs or seated. We move to our backs, tabletop. We might then be doing some standing moves, moving through some standing positions, and then coming back down to the ground near the end before we move into Shavasana. The other thing that's true in teacher training and the lessons I've taken is that there are, in fact, if I looked up online yoga poses and I looked at a variety of sites, the same poses would show up pretty much all the time. Now, one of the things I've always enjoyed is a little bit of variety from that kind of a format where we start a little differently, maybe make some modifications to the movements that we traditionally do. And so that's what I tried to plan for this morning, something that's a little different. A lot of our work today will be done from an upright position, and near the end we'll move down to our backs. This class is designed to be energizing, and it will be energizing because a little more than usual we'll be moving some of the larger muscles in the body, and we'll be moving some parts of the body a little bit more fluidly through greater range of motion than we often do. I would get the heart pumping and the blood moving, and should be energizing. But I want to begin from a place of calm. So I'm going to ask you to stand in mountain pose. Check your feet. Make sure your feet are about hips width distance apart, maybe just a tad wider. That might be more comfortable to have a broader base. Let the spine be straight. Feel the feet as they sink down into your mat. Once you're happy with your stance, you can close your eyes. Palms can face forward or they can face the legs. Focus on your breath as it comes into and out of the body. Let the crown of the head lift up a bit, extending the spine. And now I want you to bring to mind an image of a place or a person, or maybe both, a person and a place, that gives you comfort. If you think of a place, it can be inside or outside, present or past, real or imaginary. If you think of a person, that can certainly be a relative, spouse, child, parent, colleague, teacher. And again, the person can be real or imaginary, past or present. But once you decide on that person or place that gives you comfort, bring that image into your mind. See it. Experience it. Enjoy it. Don't judge it. Don't attach a value to it. Just let it exist in your head, in your mind's eye, in your heart. Now open your eyes. At the end of our practice, if I'm not called away, you might bring that image back to mind again when you're in your Shavasana. Now, before we begin our movements, I want you to focus on and try a particular kind of yoga breathing called Sitkali breathing. And this is a breathing that's intended to begin to raise our energy level. So eyes are open, we're in our mountain pose. You're going to kind of purse your lips a little bit, teeth are apart, tongue is on the bottom of the mouth. Your inhale will come through the mouth, and you want to especially feel the air as it moves over the tongue, maybe cooling the tongue. And then your exhale, you'll close your mouth at the end of your inhale, and your exhale will be through the nose. And we'll take these breaths fairly slowly and intentionally. So we begin with opening the mouth, teeth apart a little bit, tongue on the bottom of the mouth. And exhale through the nose, mouth closes. Take 2 more Kali breaths, then return to normal breathing. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. Let's begin by simply moving the arms up high overhead and then letting them swing down and cross each other. High overhead, swing down and cross. Overhead, swing and cross. Overhead and down. 2 more up and down. 1 more up and down. Very good. Let's do a little joint warm up here. Extend the arms straight out, open and close the fingers. Come to stillness. Let the hands make gentle fists and begin to rotate the wrists. And reverse the direction of your rotation. Come to stillness, fingers point straight forward. Bend and straighten the elbows. Once more, let the hands come down by the sides. Shoulders come up, back and down, up, back and down, up, back and down, up, back and down. Once more, up, back and down. Bring the chin to the chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin to chest. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin to chest. Now, if it's not uncomfortable, begin by bringing the right ear to right shoulder and then rotating the head all the way around in a circle. And when the chin gets to the chest the next time, reverse the direction of your circle. If you feel any cracking, I'm feeling it, and I'm hearing it a little bit. That's a good sign. Chin to chest, you can stop. When that happens, when we feel that cracking when we're moving our joints, it often means that there's fluid that's moving into the joints that helps lubricate, which is certainly a good thing. Now, let's work the shoulders and elbows a little bit. Bring the fingertips to the back of the skull, just behind the ears. My fingertips are touching my ears. My elbows are wide. In fact, I'm trying to pull my shoulders back as if I could pull them towards each other. I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to bring the shoulders in front and try and get them to touch. Then back out and in front. Back out and in front. And we're going to hold the shoulders, the elbows open a little bit longer here than the previous few times we moved. And we're going to bring our shoulders, our elbows together in front. We're going to hold that just a little bit longer. We're going to do this one more time where we hold even longer while the elbows are wide. You might feel a stretch across the chest. And elbows come together. And hands come down. Send your arms out in front of you and bring them around them so that it's like you're trying to hug a tree with your fingertips touching. Now raise those arms up, let the gaze follow the hands. Now as we fold forward, we're going to keep the upper body pretty much in the same position as we fold forward. We're going to rise all the way back up, hands come high, and then we bring the arms back out in front of us. We'll do that again. Arms come up, gaze follows the fingertips. We're going to fold at the waist, let the hands come down. We come all the way back up, gaze follows the fingertips, and the arms come in front. Two more times. Hands rise up, gaze follows, bend at the waist, our body stays in the same position as it rotates down. We rise back up, hands come high, and the hands come in front again. Last time, arms come up, we fold forward. Rise all the way up, hands come high. Hands come in front. Arms come down to the sides. Shake out the arms and the shoulders a little bit. Once again, send the arms out in front, but bring the palms together. Now, we're going to take the right hand. We're going to swing it out to the right, keeping the left arm straight out. Gaze follows the fingers as we twist off to that right side. And we bring the hands back together and twist off to the left. Left arm twists, right hand stays out straight. And then the hands come back together. We're going to twist again over to the right and hold that twist just a little bit longer than the first time. And back. Twist the left arm out, right hand stays straight out. Away from the body, and then left hand comes back. Okay, we're going to do this one more time, holding a little bit longer yet. Right arm twist off to the right, gaze goes in that direction. The effect of this is not unlike a seated twist when we're twisting at the abdominal muscles and also feeling a twist in the low spine. Hand comes back. Last time, left arm twists, gaze goes over. And we come back. Very good. Bring the hands down by the sides. Move the shoulders a little bit. Loosen them. Stretching those shoulder muscles and those muscles across the chest. All right. Extend the arms, interlace the fingers. We're going to move through a standing cat-cow. Let the hands rise up. Gaze follows the hands, and the palms flip up toward the ceiling. This is our standing cow pose. Then without bending much at the waist, I'm going to bring the hands back down. The bend here is in the upper back. The head can drop down. This is our standing cat. Raise up, palms face the ceiling. Hands come down, palms face the body. Let your inhale move you into this standing cow pose where the hands are up. And your exhale move you into a standing cat pose where the upper back is bent. Continue to move through these two poses, letting your breath be your guide. The next time you come from your standing cat pose, back up to your standing cow pose, stop and bring the arms down to the sides. Very good. Now, one more upper body movement here. We're going to move into eagle arms, that pose. Now, we often do this in a seated or kneeling position, and we often use a strap. I've actually found, since I've been teaching during the pandemic, that I like doing this pose without the strap because I can actually force my muscles to pull a little bit harder than relying on tugging on the strap. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is extend the left arm straight out and turn the palm up toward the ceiling. And we're going to bend the elbow and bring the palm to the back, right around the shoulder. And the elbow is up, hugging into the head. The elbow shouldn't be out at an angle. It needs to be up, pointed straight up at the ceiling. And we'll extend the right arm and turn the palm away so it's facing off to the right, and swing that right arm behind so the back of the hand comes to the back. The back of the hand is against the back. Now, people who are really flexible will be able to get both of their hands to touch each other and maybe even grasp fingertips. I will never be that flexible in my entire life. So my hands are really fairly far apart, but I can get the same benefit out of this by trying to bring this upper elbow over towards center and my lower elbow over towards center. And I have the choice of how much pressure or force I want my muscles to use in accomplishing this. I don't want to hurt myself, but I do want to feel some stretch and tension in my shoulder and arm muscles. Eagle pose. And release both arms down. Let's see, what should we do next? I know we'll do eagle on the other side. So we're going to extend our right arm out, palm faces up, elbow bends, palm comes to the back. That right elbow points up toward the ceiling, not flared out, pulling in towards center. Left hand extends, palm turns away. We swing that arm around behind, and the back of the hand is against the back. Fingertips are stretching towards each other, probably never to meet. Elbows pull towards the center line of the body. And we release. Oh my goodness. One more time. Move the shoulders around. Very good. Now, hands on hips. Extend the left foot forward beyond the heel. Toes are up. Open and close the toes. And then if you can, balance on the right foot and Lift that left foot off a little bit from the mat and rotate the ankle. You might, if there's a chair or a wall nearby or another piece of furniture, feel free to hold that. Bend, straighten the knee. And then come down to both feet. Other side, right foot goes out and extends. The heel can rest on the mat. Close the toes. Lift that foot off the mat. Rotate the ankle. I think I forgot to say, change the direction of the rotation on the other. And then bend and flex that knee, bend and straighten that knee. And good. Now, I want you to be aligned so you're facing the long edge of your mat. And you can do that. Now, if your mat is long ways facing your camera, you might want to turn it so that it's parallel to mine. It's not necessary as long as you can see me and follow my directions. Sometimes it'll be a little easier if you can look straight on as opposed to turning your head. But I want you to be aligned on the long edge of your mat. And I want you to take a wide stance and turn the feet out. Now I have my hands on my hips. I find when I'm in standing positions like this, that hands on hips give me the best stability. All right, here we go. Arms are going to swing up, gaze follows the fingers. Now, as my arms come down, I'm going to fold at the waist till my back is pretty much parallel to the floor. Let the hands cross. Notice which arm is in front, and then I'm going to come back up. Palms come back together, fingers touch. Now I'm going to swing down. I'm going to bend at the waist. I'm going to try to put the other arm in front. Swing back up. And let's move through this little flow where we're coming up, letting the arms come down and folding forward, swinging the arms so they cross each other, and letting the gaze pretty much follow the fingertips. So the plane of the fingertips indicate where the gaze is. Remember I said at the beginning, this can be considered an energizing class because we're moving some of the larger muscles and moving muscles through a bigger range of motion than we often do. This is a good example. Last time, come forward, arms crossed, and when we come up, we stop and bring the hands to the hips. We stay in our wide-legged stance here. Begin by sending the arms away from the body, palms face the ceiling. Very simple movement. We're going to bend our knees, sink the tailbone straight down, bring the elbows into the ribs, and then back up and out. Sink down, elbows into the ribs, back up and out. This time we're going to hold our down position a little longer, and up. Down, we sink, elbows come in, and up. We're going to do this 2 more times, holding a little bit longer yet. Sink down, and back up. Last one. We sink down, and back up. Hands come to hips. We're going to go through a little flow here that is similar to one that we did in a recent lesson, could have been Monday. Let's start in our wide-legged stance with our hands down at the tops of the thighs. We're going to sink, And now as we come up, we're going to lean over to the left. Let the right hand extend out high over the ear. Your goal is to have a straight line from your fingertips straight down to your ankle. And we're going to sink back down, hands on thighs, rise up. We're going to stretch over to the right with the left hand high, straight line from the fingertips to the ankles. Sink back down, hand on thigh, and then come back up. We'll move through that flow again, holding our stretches just a little longer. Sink back down, up we go. Right hand extends. We hold that position. Sink back down, up we go. Right hand, left hand extend. Sink back down and come straight up. We'll do that again, holding our stretches a little longer. We sink down. I'm going to hold my down too. And up. Stretch it over to the left side. Sinking back down. Stretching up. Sink back down and straight up. One last time where we hold our stretches the longest amount of time yet. Sinking down, coming up, stretching to the left, arm goes high. Sinking down, stretching up. Stretching this time over to the right. Sinking down and coming straight up. Very good. Let's try a little bit of balancing here. Bring the hands to the hips to start. And while we're in our wide-legged stance, see if you can come up on toes on both feet. Now, if you can't, feel free to just come up on toes on one foot for a few seconds, let the heel go down, then the other foot for a few seconds. I'm going to try and come up on both sets of toes, and I'm going to experiment with my arm positions. I could keep my arms at my hips. I could send them out to the sides. I could bring them to heart center. Now for me, that affects my balance a little bit. Or I can raise them up into a 5-pointed star pose. And everything comes back down. Very good. We're going to move into a warrior two pose. So I'm going to take my left leg, left toes point forward, back foot angles off so that it is parallel to the short edge of my mat. And I'm going to start off with my hands on my hips here. And I want to do a little work on my hip and front knee joints. I'm going to do that very simply by letting that front knee slide forward a bit and then coming back up straight. Sliding forward a bit, coming back up straight. Generally, we don't want the knee to go out past the ankle, but in this pose, in this movement, that's okay. Three more. Two more. The last one. And now let's move into our warrior two stance. Front knee is bent. I can look down and see my big toe and maybe the front two toes. I'm going to bring my hands to heart center, and I'm going to twist it a little bit. So I have it in my ability to do to my left. Arms go out in warrior two, gaze is over the front fingertips. Let's move through a little flow. I'm going to straighten my front leg at the same time I bring my hands together overhead. Gaze goes up to my fingers. Fingers come down to heart center. And then I push away, knee bends back into warrior two. Up, fingers together, hands to heart center. Push away, warrior two. Up, leg is straight, hands come together, heart center. Push away, warrior two. Leg straightens, arms come up, hands come to center, out to warrior two. Very good. Let's hold our warrior two pose for just a few breaths. Then we'll flip the front palm, reverse our warrior. Back hand comes down along back leg. Front hand rises up high. Gaze can be up at the fingertips. It can also be at the floor or straight ahead. Gazing at the floor has better for balance. It's a little harder to balance when the gaze is up. Slide back into warrior two. We're going to move into our extended side angle. Bend the front arm. Bring that front forearm down to the front thigh. Swing the back arm underneath and up. And the gaze, as always, can be at the floor straight ahead or up at the raised hand. When the gaze is up at that raised hand, it has a tendency to spiral the chest open a little bit more. There should be very little weight in this forearm as it rests on the thigh. Let's slide back up into warrior two. Now, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to adjust our stance into a high lunge. Now, in warrior two, there should be a straight line from the front heel to the back instep, so the feet are on the same track. But when we moved into our high lunge, the feet are on separate tracks, so you might want to make that adjustment. We'll come up so that both sets of toes point forward and the back foot are on the toes, heel is up off the mat. Once you move into this stance and you've got your balance, bring your hands to heart center. Let the arms go up high. Gaze up toward the ceiling. Bring the hands back to heart center. Twist toward the extended front leg. We're going to hold this twist a little bit longer than we normally hold twists like this. And you can stay in this position with the hands together, or to add a little challenge, you can extend the arms out. That may challenge your balance. It may also allow you to twist just a tad more toward that front leg. Bring the hands back to heart center, turn forward. Bring the hands to the hips and turn once again to face the front edge of your mat, the long edge of your mat. We're going to go through that sequence with warrior two and our high lunge on the other side. I'm going to take my right foot, turn the toes out, back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat, straight line from front heel to back end step. I'm going to start with my hands on my hips and move through that knee. Let that knee go forward. and back, straightening the leg, forward and back, forward, back. Two more times. I really like this movement because it works the knee, the hip, and the groin muscles, the inside hip muscles. It can be really good. Let's go ahead and move into our Warrior Two stance with the front knee bent, back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Hands come to heart center. And see if you have the space today to twist just a little bit more to the right. As you do, you may feel more pull on the knee and the inner thigh. That's good. And we'll move into our Warrior Two position. Arms extend, gazes out over our front fingertips. We'll move through our flow. I'm going to straighten my leg, bring my hands up. Gaze goes up to the fingertips. Hands come to heart center, and then the arms push away as the knee bends back to Warrior Two. Hands go up, legs straighten as palms come together. Hands come down to heart center. Hands push away, knee bends. Warrior Two. Arms go up, palms come together, legs straighten. Hands to heart center. Hands push away, knee bends, Warrior Two. 3 more times. Hands come up. Gaze goes with the fingers. Palms down. Push away, bend the knee. Hands come up. Next to the last one. Palms come down to heart center. Push away, bend the knee. Last time. Hands come together overhead. And the hands come to heart center. We push away into our Warrior Two. All our Warrior Two position here for several breaths. Reverse that front hand, raise it up, bring the back hand down to the back leg or bind across the back of the waist into our reverse warrior. Back into Warrior Two. We're going to move into our extended side angle, bending the front arm, bringing the forearm down to the front thigh. Swinging the back hand around and up. And as always, gaze can be at the floor, straight ahead, or up at the hand. Very little weight, and the forearm is just resting lightly on the thigh. Top shoulder pulls back, chest spirals open a bit. And let's move back up into our Warrior Two. Now bring your hands to your hips. We want to move into our high lunge footing. So we're going to bring the feet on separate tracks and make both sets of toes face forward. Front knee bends and the back foot raises, the back heel raises off the mat on our toes. And we bring our hands to heart center to start. Taking a moment to get our stability, feel our foundation. When you're ready, you can raise your hands up. Gaze goes up to the ceiling. Hands can come back to heart center. Now we're going to twist over toward that extended front leg. We're going to hold this twist a little longer than we hold twists typically. And I'd invite you, if you'd like, if it's in your practice this morning, to extend the arms out long. That may have an effect on your balance. And it may enable you to twist just a little further. Bring the hands back to heart center. Facing forward, hands on hips. Step forward and then come to the front of your mat. Stand here at the front of your mat in mountain pose for several breaths, eyes closed, palms face forward. And take several of those Sitkali breaths that we did at the beginning of class, where you begin by breathing through the mouth, lips parted, teeth apart, tongue on the bottom of the mouth, feeling that air flow over the tongue, then closing the mouth as you exhale through the nose. Take 4 or 5 of them. Once you've returned to normal breathing, raise the arms up overhead, gaze goes with the fingers, turn the palms away, fold forward. Come up to a half lift, flat back, exhale, fold, plant the hands. And then come on down to the knees into tabletop position. Drop down to the forearms. Your palms can be facing or flat on the mat. Now, lift the right leg up, bend the right foot over the extended left leg, pull that right knee up towards the ceiling, opening the right hip. Sometimes we do this move in downward dog. Bring the knee back down, left leg up, left knee bends, left foot extends over the right leg. Left knee comes up towards the ceiling, opening the hip. Bring that knee back to the mat and come up to all fours again. Shift your hips back towards your heels. We're going to spin the feet around and come on down to the back. As we near the end of our practice. Let's begin by bending the knees, placing the feet flat on the mat. Let the feet go wide as the mat, knees come in towards each other. Send the arms out away from the body in T position or cactus arms, whatever works today. Then begin to windshield wiper the knees, first over to the right. Let the knees hang over in that right position for a breath or two. Then back through center and over to the left, letting the knees hang in that position for a breath or two. Knees back to the right, and continue this slow windshield wiper movement of the knees. Letting the knees hang to the right, letting gravity pull for a breath or two. And then letting the knees hang to the left, letting gravity pull for a breath or two. Notice the movement of the hips and the low back as you move from side to side, slowly and with purpose. The next time, if the knees come from the left, back to center. Stop. Bring the arms down by the sides, palms flat on the mat, feet back close to the torso. We'll move into bridge pose. On an inhale, lift the hips up, pushing into the feet and perhaps the forearms. See if you lift those hips just a little higher. And then release the hips down. Let's hug the knees into the chest, gently rocking side to side. If you're rocking, come to stillness, bring the feet to the mat. Extend the legs out long, hands down by the sides as we move into our final resting pose of Shavasana. Turn the palms up toward the sky. Feet fall away. Let the body relax. Feel those places where the body is touching the mat. Soften those. Give some focus to the face. Soften those muscles around the eyes and the cheeks and jaw. Let the muscles of the shoulders relax and the upper and lower arms. Soften the low back and hips. Let the legs and feet relax. And as you breathe on each exhale, let the body sink into the mat a little bit more. Exhale and release. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring some movement into the body, moving the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the feet. Gently turn the head side to side. And when you're ready, roll it onto one side. I'm going to consider recalling that image, that person or place that gives you comfort. And then make your way up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. May the sun bring you new happiness by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries, and the wind blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and see its beauty. Namaste. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me.